and gives us that rebel flair. Adam Cole got moves that make us stare. Not getting mad, let's talk the night away. Breaking down matches in our own way. Jericho makes rain all day, go tinkle time. Wrestling podcasting in our prime. Flip the switch, you know we're never tame. Marie and Ray taking over the game. From body slams to high flying bling, hear that bell, let the chaos ring. Not getting mad, let's talk the night away. Breaking down matches in our own way. Jericho makes rain all day, go tinkle time. Wrestling podcasting in our prime. Flip the switch, you know we're never tame. Marie and Ray taking over the game. From body slams to high flying bling, hear that bell, let the chaos ring. Not getting mad, let's talk the night away. Breaking down matches in our own way. Jericho makes rain all day, don't tinkle time. Wrestling podcasting in our prime. Stories mix on our mics, a ring of voices kick out the spikes. Eddie Kingston brawls with a ruthless heart. Adam Cole brings the art of the part. Twists and turns, match by match, insightful banter, there's no catch. Smash that button, never miss a beat. We rock this podcast scene to seat. Not getting mad, let's talk the night away. Breaking down matches in our own way. Jericho makes rain all day, don't tinkle time. Wrestling podcasting in our prime.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Tailgate Party. I am Majestic Marie, alongside my co-host Ray all day, and we have a special guest with us today. If y'all guys have been here for a really long time, you know that somebody used to be with me every week, and that was Mr. CM Walsh over here. And we're excited to have him back on the Tailgate Party.
Come on. Keep going. Keep fueling the ego. Come on. Keep bigging me up because I could listen to it for a whole hour. It wouldn't be a UK pay-per-view if I wasn't coming on talking about it, right? That's
right. Exactly. We would have had to throw Forbidden Door out of the window if CM Walsh did not get to come onto the show and talk about the.
It's not like I was there or anything like that, or spent far too much on merch. But we won't talk about that. It's fine.
Well, CM Walsh, how was the show there in person? Was it as exciting as it was watching at home?
The thing is about Wembley and All In, 80,000 people being there. It's such a spectacle, and I think they really sort of captured that with the AT&T this year. But the thing is, with the AT&T, it has a roof, and they can cover it, and you can sort of it grows to 360-degree atmosphere. The thing that sometimes get lost with Wembley is that because it doesn't have a roof, you can sometimes feel like you're looking at screens, you're looking elsewhere, and not really capturing the full of it. The fact they've done the O2 Arena, again, just as iconic a venue of 20,000, but really was able to really sort of play in the indoor venture and really, still carry through the importance of Forbidden Door as a pay-per-view to AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was amazing. It was really was worth it. And the card that they were able to build now, and I'm sure we'll discuss, the lackluster attempt of trying to build up this card until the very last 3 or 4 weeks to the show. But other than that, the night that we got was astonishing, as we've come to expect.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I always enjoy pay-per-views and shows inside arenas more than I do really stadiums, because you just lose that audience reaction a lot because it goes up into the air and you can't really hear it, and maybe you can't I haven't been to a stadium show, but it seems like you can't really feel it either. So
certain things get gained, certain things get lost, and
Right.
what we've seen, even sort of, I remember reviewing the first All In when they did Stadium Stampede, because it was everywhere inside Wembley Stadium.
Right.
Everyone was going, oh, it's over there. Oh God, it's over there. Oh God, what's that? So no one was really able to sort of capture what was going on until watching the broadcast back. But having said that, last year, and I watched this video back constantly, is having 55,000 people sing the final countdown.
Right.
And seeing Danielson come through, like it has its ebbs and has its flows. So it's a one thing, but what Tony Khan has been able to deliver on in the last 3 years is making this August Bank Holiday weekend for us such a Christmas atmosphere. You know, having Rev Pro, having Progress, having, you know, all the indie shows going on, and almost simulating what a WrestleMania would mean to London, and what it would bring to the arenas, and having every indie promotion come to town. There's no better time of year for a wrestling fan in the UK.
Yeah, it's a great time, and I'm so glad that you all finally get big shows like that, because for the longest time, I mean, SummerSlam 1992 is about all y'all were able to claim.
And that's why they sold 80,000 2 years ago, because, you know, WWE had the chance to do it with Clash at the Castle. They didn't take it up, but they went to Cardiff, and then Tony Khan went, all right, then I'll take it. I'll take Wembley Stadium, and he was able to fill it. Second year, okay, the card wasn't strong enough to put 90,000 there, but he still put 55,000 there. And the reason the top three AEW events of all time is All In at Wembley, All In Texas, and the first All In, because that's the market that they've been able to do.
Right, and it's great. Ray, I know we're here in the States and we had to sit this one out. How did you feel about the show? Did you enjoy it as a whole?
I enjoyed it very much. A lot of good outcomes, some confusing stuff, but at the end of the day, you know, at least the program flowed. There wasn't a lot of weird hiccup. Bless you.
Thank you.
There wasn't a lot of weird hiccups. So, you know, it was a good show. I liked a lot of it.
Well, and to keep up with the spirit and the hype, let's let the Briscoe brothers, like we always do here on the Tailgate Party, get us ready as we are about to digest the card. Here we go.
Ain't no way, chick. Ain't ready. There ain't no way, man. Ain't ready. Ain't no way y'all could possibly be ready. You can say you're ready as many times as you want. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Y'all boys ain't ready. There's no way, man.
There we go. And my mama's here, so you guys behave yourself. She's telling me to call her later. Christina's here, and Erica's here. We got all the girls in.
Yeah, where's the guys? What's going on, guys?
They're MIA today. Well, we're not going to talk about 0 Hour, because we would be here for 5 hours if we talked about 0 Hour. So we're going to start off with the main card.
I have to say something about it. The 4 tag matches in a row. I love Samoa Joe. I really do. The ops are fantastic. And Michael Oku. Give that man a contract, please. But yeah, it just felt samey. Like,
yeah.
And the fact they only just put in the trios titles at the end of the 4th one. Like, yes, they've been known to throw everyone on the pre-show to get a payday, and they did it last year. They had a 16 man everyone schmoz tag match on the pre-show of All In. Okay, but yeah, I mean, it's in the words of Vince Russo, if you build a wall so strong and push everyone to build it, does anyone get over? Like, you can have good spots, but you don't actually get. You're not coming away from that hour and a half going, yeah, I want to see more of that. I want to see the more of the ops and see what they can do. It doesn't click. You need to have that variety.
Where's Hook?
He's coming. That's all we know.
And kudos for the promos they've been doing with the model version of Hook and the Batmobile. Word on the street, Orange Cassidy isn't too far away either as well. Yeah. which again is a nice sort of transition, especially when
You think you're going to get a heel hook, or you think Hook's going to actually be part of the ops? How's that angle is going to be weird? I don't know.
should we jump straight into the tag match and the opening match of the night?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. After lots of tag matches on the 0 hour, CM Walsh, you got another tag team match.
Honestly, I see clearly everything has come to life. Been a place in a broken dream, and I leave it all behind. Again, I mentioned Cardiff a little earlier for Clash at the Castle and having Edge come out there, but having 18,000 people sing his theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, it's so iconic and just so anthem, and you know, everyone in that room understood the importance of Edge and Christian. Now we'll save the argument of whether this match and this moment was the right time, considering we've got All In Toronto in 3 weeks' time. But with the 25th anniversary of TLC coming up, with the history between the two men as well, irrespective of where the current storylines are going,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it was special from the get-go. And hey, Christian, I want to know if you'll be my dad. I mean, like,
that was great.
That is British wrestling. This is what we do best.
I was rolling with that. That was so funny. I was actually I didn't get to like pay attention to this match until a little bit later. I did get to see the tail end of it, but I was listening to it as I was cooking my dinner that night. Because I had to watch the replay, and I was rolling in the kitchen, and my husband was like, "What are you laughing at?" And I'm like, "They're singing, 'Hey Christian, will you be my dad?'" It was so great. I loved it.
You guys could never and will never ever catch on. It's so brilliant. But yeah, a standard tag match. Really good. A really good introduction of Killswitch, because then he's only just come back.
Yeah.
And kick Sabian as well. Not so then obviously at the end, little signs of appreciation. I don't think anyone was expecting a full face turn just yet from Christian at Cage either. So yeah, did everything it needed to do and was being serenaded by 19,000 creative UK wrestling fans. What else can I say?
Yes, it was great. Ray, how did you feel about this? You know that we've been saying for the past couple of weeks that they kind of rushed Adam Copeland and Christian into this buddy thing a little bit too fast. They could have dragged it out just a little bit. But
yeah, we talked about it last week. Yeah, they kind of rushed it. I feel like they could have taken their time with that one. You know, there was time because they are doing this next big pay-per-view in Toronto. But they're still not hugging. He's still kind of keeping his distance a little bit. Like, let's just shake hands. So he's not full quote-unquote face yet. He's getting there. But, you know, I think they could have waited. I was surprised that there was this kill switch, not necessarily turn, but there's like a little, you know, heat in the group internally. I thought that was going to take a little while. So they kind of rushing that a little bit. I don't know what happened to Sabian. He was bleeding during the match.
And I think that's a testament of how well the patriarchy has gotten over, really, in AEW. The avoidance of Christian wanting to go up against Killswitch for a long while in that match. And, you know, again, for the fact that we were singing "Can You Be My Dad, Please," you know, it's not just gonna be an immediate fix. You know, the one thing you can never say about Tony Khan is that it's not WWE. It's not all of a sudden a resolution to a story is going to come like that, because they take their time. It lets the narrative breathe naturally, and it allows it to develop over weeks and weeks and months, over nuances, over tiny little details that eventually adds up to the bigger payoff towards the end.
Did you see where Sabian got hurt? Like, where did he? Because he was bleeding a lot from like his ear or side of his head. Did he take a bad bump?
I mean, considering what we saw for the rest of the night, I think that was pretty minuscule. I'm sure a plaster would have taken care of that, no problem. But yeah, it didn't seem too bad to us. But yeah, for what we saw for the rest of the night, that was petty.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened to him though.
Adam Copeland and Christian did get the win on this. And do you all feel like that was the right call? I do, especially with how the crowd was reacting to both of those guys. But this was Killswitch's first match back, so there's that too. So it was a little, I don't know.
But the fact that he didn't
Isn't
get
his hot
pinned,
spot.
that
Yeah,
he didn't take the pin, which
That's
is smart.
true.
I give Tony Khan his credit. He knows whoever's gonna, take the L that night. He makes sure it's the right guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I give him a lot of credit. We always, on the show, give him hard times when he does things that are a little crazy. But when he does things right, I give him his props. Like, Sabian's the one that if they're going to lose, he's got to take the pin. And it made sense. And again, the pop that they were getting, was crazy. So I felt they had to win too. It made sense.
Yeah, it did. Timothy, I'm not reading all that, honey. He listed a giant paragraph.
What's the question? What's the question? Let me see the question. Come on.
Okay. I'll let you read the question. LL Cool J or Slick Rick?
LL Cool J, that's easy. DMX, that's easy. And going out to eat to Wing Daddy. I don't know what Wing Daddy is, but if it's like a wing place, yeah, I'm there. And Mr. Iguana's king. Okada is definitely not. And here we go. That was quick.
I refuse any hate whatsoever towards Mr. Iguana. He's got an iguana. He's
exactly. And he's the only one that's allowed to have a puppet, right?
Yeah. Oh! That spot I shared on my socials. Hit him and Dimonito. Just the look of horror and shock of awe. And the fact you had JBL and Corey Graves on commentary. Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler in their prime couldn't have painted a better picture than that. It was so beautifully carnage. Yeah.
But you agree he's the only one that should be allowed to have a puppet now. Like, you can't have the Finn Balor puppet, right? Told you, Murray. That's two people that agree with me. We've had this argument for like 3 weeks now.
I haven't really been arguing. I've just been listening to you rant and going, okay.
Look. Let's take a moment.
That's the same thing. I'll take that.
When Mr. Iguana is in the Royal Rumble next year and eliminating people via his iguana, then we'll come back to this conversation.
Okay.
Mr. Iguana for WrestleMania, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Can the man not have his little things in life?
No, I love it. It just Finn Balor can. That's what I'm saying. There's only room for one puppet on the show. I feel like Finn Balor kind of messed it up.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about AAA, right?
Yeah,
no.
Let's go.
This is the only match that I did not get to see. I forgot to watch this one back, so I apologize. So I'm going to let you guys take this one away. I know that Kyle Fletcher did retain his TNT title, and that's all I know. So how was the match? Was it good? Was it worth going back to watch?
The thing is with I mean, everyone was hating on Don Callis from the get-go anyway. If I have to see his massive forehead on a massive screen and that droning sound again, I mean, I don't know what to say. But that's how they want us to feel. But Carl Fletcher is a talent, and not many people would have said that when he broke off from Will Ospreay and sort of stood on his own 2 feet. And he's starting to deliver the goods. And Takahashi was a credible opponent for him. Gave a lot, obviously, embodying the New Japan sort of feel of the night as well.
Takahashi was a little slower. I feel like Fletcher was quicker on some of the spots, and he looked like he just had a little more into it, I guess. I don't know how you would describe it, but he looked like he was like a step ahead of him all the time. But
yeah, and it was never going to be a New Japan match, and I think it's about how and this is what you see. It's about sort of adjusting the tempo really between the both wrestlers, and they still executed their spots pretty well. Yeah. All the flips in all the right places really. So you can't not give him that. And I think with the prestige of the TNT title, as we saw in the promos, and actually, the history of the company, I think, that there isn't a worse person really to be carrying it at the moment, really.
Well, I mean, he's the stolen champion. The real champion's hurt, but I give Kyle Fletcher all his props. He looks fantastic. He did a reverse Samson, shaved his head. Now he's incredible. Bulked up, put on 20 pounds of muscle. Looks fantastic. So I give him all the credit in the world. And he won clean. So I like when a heel wins clean.
Yeah.
It looks good.
And I think that's the respectfulness that really deserved it. I mean, no match throughout the night was really too... Okay. Apart from one match that we'll talk about later was really.
I was gonna say, are you sure about that?
I had to. But yeah, other than that, it was a fairly sort of clean night throughout. So it was good to see, and I think that's the best way to get a face turn, is to have these kind of performances where in-ring technical work is up there, and you can't not hate it.
No, you can't. So I was all for it. Like I said, Kyle won. It looks great. Like I said, he pinned him clean. So you got to give him his respect, and maybe in 7 months or 8 months when the champ comes back and tries to get his belt back, then, things will be different. But, enjoy these 8 months.
I'll be honest. Obviously, they announced they're going back to Australia next year. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Fletcher wasn't playing more of a prominent role, but when we come around to that conversation next year.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree with that. I think this is a stepping stone for him to enter the main event scene here in the next few months.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, why are you asking about the puppet? I can't have Ray just go off for an hour about this. Okay, we need it.
Jeff, I love Jeff. Jeff is getting right now.
I think if we honestly get more comments about the puppet, I think we will actually call up the clip and show it again. Just to look at Mr. Iguana's facial expressions alone.
Yeah.
I love Jeff. There you go, buddy. See, I told you my friends have my back.
Well, he was asking if Mr. Iguana is the only one allowed to have a puppet. Why did Finn Balor have one?
I have no idea.
That's the whole thing.
And
then he was talking about Harley Cameron's puppet, but they're in different companies, so it doesn't count.
And I'm not being funny that the Mercedes Moné puppet was more Avenue Q. That wasn't like it has to be an animal. It has to be, like it.
I agree.
Now I'm talking about forms of puppet. Jesus Christ.
I sucked you into the matrix of puppet
Welcome
talk.
to the Tailgate party, where we talk about everything, and I mean everything, including puppets.
Yeah,
everything. I agree. Thank you, CM.
All right.
I appreciate your honesty.
Next, from now on, I have seen all of these matches, so I will actually be able to contribute to the conversation. This was really good. It surprised me with how good it was. We had a 4-way for the TBS championship, and it was Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor versus Persephone versus Bozilla. All of these girls were very impressive.
I'm missing a sense of respect. It's Alex Windsor. Put some respect on the Norwich girl, She didn't come from Norfolk for no reason, Good match. Windsor got over quite well. Persephone and Bozilla. Really good outings for CMLL and Stardom.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is with Mercedes Moné, and now she's 9 belts. Name me someone apart from Toni Storm who's credible enough to take it off her.
No one, because she's between her, Toni Storm, and Athena. They have all beaten everybody else into the ground.
Exactly. So you're sort of left going. Okay, like I was saying that to Harry, who I sat with on Sunday. I was like, it's all well and good having these big matches and the pageantry and the entrances, but who actually wins out of this? Who actually because I'm here for the downfall of Mercedes Moné when one by one she starts losing, and the belts start falling away, and the meltdown and the drama that could fall as the dominoes tumble.
Mm-hmm.
But to do that, you need to start with somebody beating her for the main title. And
Yeah.
apart from a Toni Storm rematch, I'm not buying. Okay, we saw the return of Jamie Hayter later in the night, paying off from a backstage brawl off the back of the women's 8-minute women tag. But do you really buy her beating her straight away? No. And it's I don't know. I mean, yes, you could say it's just a systemic issue within AEW, and that women's wrestling hasn't been where it should be, despite the fact you've created stars in Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker, DMD, and and there have been like shoots of brilliance, but you haven't necessarily built a credible enough roster. When you look in the comparison to WWE, when you look at the credibility that each of between those two rosters, it's incomparable, and I think you wouldn't have expected 6 years on to still be having these same conversations.
Yeah, and the thing is that they could have done it with like maybe a Chris Statlander, even though she has beaten Chris Statlander twice. If they sort of kept with the back, like it being in the back of Chris Statlander's mind, or keep showing that throughout all this time until she eventually gets back in Mercedes Moné's face. But it's like, oh, she beat me twice, and we're just gonna do whatever. They're doing this weird thing with her and the Death Riders too, so I don't know exactly what they're trying to do with Chris Statlander. They could do something with her. They could do something with Willow Nightingale. They could do something with Megan Bayne, and they're just not. They're just not.
Exactly. I've seen Willow Nightingale twice, and on both of those occasions, she didn't deserve to be on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Like, she's right there. She is right there. She doesn't deserve to be caught up in comical feuds because she's got the potential there. And you mentioned about the Death Riders. Marina Shafir is right there.
Yeah, her too.
With credible power. Shayna Baszler is around and on the market at the moment. You've got some serious submission powerhouses that you could put them with Mercedes or Tony or thing and go, yeah. No, I could feasibly see them actually beating them clean and convincingly.
Yeah.
And it's here we are. I don't know.
Marina Shafir doesn't wrestle; she just attacks people.
Yeah. but that's worked so well with Shayna Baszler in the early 2020, because she just went in there and for all the hate that she got back then for just absolutely pummeling people, but it worked. She destroyed people for fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, is that with Marina Shafir, you can still have her do that, but also be pursuing her own interests as well and going after the women's division.
Yeah.
But I mean, besides a brief encounter with Willow, they haven't done anything with her in the women's division. Ray, what did you think of this match?
Bozilla, if I saw her in an alley and she asked me my wallet, she would get that instantly. There'd be no arguing. I would just be like, here, please don't kill me. That's a giant woman, so I'd be very scared. So let me say that off the bat. Alex Windsor looks fantastic. The thing is this: the way that Mercedes is winning, she's winning. I don't like using the word again, but she's winning clean, and she's dominating everybody. So for Statlander to try to get a rematch based on what? She can't come with a promo, hey, if it wasn't for that chair shot, if it wasn't for your manager spraying me in the eyes, if it wasn't for you putting your feet on the ropes. She's doing none of those things. You can't even come back to any of these people and say, well, where's my title shot? Why? I pinned you twice. Why? I pinned you clean in the middle of the ring. So no one has an argument towards Mercedes to say, hey, you got lucky. If it wasn't for this, it wasn't for that. No, you're just losing. So at the end of the day, you've got to build a credible contender that's not losing every day, twice on Sunday, and get a shot at Mercedes. You've got to build somebody. I agree. Bring up Shayna Baszler. I don't know if Sonya Deville wants to come back to wrestle at any point, but she's a free agent, and she's credible. She's good in the ring.
And take one look around the indie scenes and the promotions that Monet has pummeled through. Someone like Shay Samuels coming in and beating her for the belt, or just somebody who she faced in Stardom or in CMLL.
Anybody.
Coming in and beating her clean and taking one of those titles back. That's rocket to the moon kind of stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. Have Bozilla just destroy her and take one of those belts. Somebody.
Yeah.
But right now in AEW, forget the other wrestling federations. Who else do you have in AEW? Unless, I hate to say the B word, Britt Baker some way comes out of,
they've already tried that.
Oh, that's right.
And it was bad.
And it was awful. I don't know. I honestly don't know at this point, unless you have an ROH star that I'm not aware of that could beat her. I honestly don't know what you're doing. You have 3 pillars right now, Mount Rushmore of champions, and everybody else is a little pebble. It's sad, but there's nothing. You got these 3 beasts that are unbeatable, like, Marie said, and then there's everybody else. No one is beating these 3 women. It looks like they're unbeatable. It's like 3 Roman Reigns, and that's about it. I don't know. I truly right now couldn't tell you who looked credible enough to beat Mercedes in AEW.
3 Roman Reigns and then everybody else is Akira Tozawa.
It's like Akira Tozawa's and Roman Reigns. Or no, Evil Uno.
Don't take me back to 2020. Please don't take me back to 2020. And I've said this before, if you'd said 5 years ago that Sasha Banks and Jade Cargill would trade places, match for match, belt for belt, record for record, you wouldn't have believed it. But that's what she's kind of been reduced to. Yes, she's developed it into her own character and the CEO, and yes, we've got the indie wrestlers dressed as British soldiers and have the regality and the royalty. That's great, but there's only so far you can sing CEO until it starts getting boring.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
Timothy
great.
says to give the world title to Chris Statlander and the TBS title either to Sky Blue or Penelope Ford.
She's beaten Chris twice.
Don't put him on the pre-show then.
Yeah.
Don't put him on a pre-show. She's beaten Chris twice and clean.
Deanna Purrazzo she's disappeared.
I don't even know who that is anymore. I haven't seen her forever. The only person that they're making really strong is Spider-Woman. Tekla. But she's a heel. So unless you're going to turn her and have her attack Mercedes, that's the only person that has somewhat of a shot.
It's all storyline.
But Tekla's your only undefeated non-Mount Rushmore woman right now. And she's part of the Voodoo Princess tribe. Like you gotta turn her. You gotta have her turn on those 2 girls and say, I want a belt or something. Because at least she's credible. At least she looks like she could beat Mercedes. She's fantastic in the ring. But she's messing around with Queen Aminata. She's a beast. I said she's another one in the alley would get my wallet. No problem.
Yeah.
Very scared too. You add it to the list.
Well, the next match that we're going to talk about was my personal favorite. I don't know about you guys. I loved this match, the IWGP title match between Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness. I loved this match. This is my favorite, one of my favorite types of wrestling. I was excited. I liked that you didn't see the finish coming, that it was a surprise and it was quick. I know that when you're in the ring, when you're there actually in the crowd, it's a little bit anticlimactic. I understand that. But the kind of wrestling that they were doing, it actually fit in with what they were doing.
It does. And that's the thing is that, with it being a technical masterclass, it wasn't going to be a big spot fest of finisher after finisher. it wasn't going to be anything sort of big or dramatic like that.
Yes. Wait a minute, CM Walsh. The Young Bucks were coming. Okay, the Young Bucks were coming.
How great is Zack Sabre Jr. though? Man, that's
what.
How great is Zack Sabre Jr.?
Oh, come on,
love some Zack Sabre Jr. That's my guy.
Yeah,
fantastic. Brings it every day. That's my dude. I will say this, and we had this conversation last week. Danny Garcia, don't turn now. It's too late. You had your chance. You didn't take the opportunity. You want to be all huggy and fake. That's fine, but don't do it now. Like AEW, when you're building a plot where you think it's going to happen, it doesn't. Don't. 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, Danny Garcia takes a chair to Nigel McGuinness or anybody else and goes crazy. No, you didn't want to do it. You want to keep him face. That's fine, but don't do a 180 2 months from now. This was the time where I thought he was going to do it, and he didn't.
I have a question for you then, Ray. Tonight on Dynamite, he faces Jon Moxley. And what if Nigel McGuinness is in his corner and he turns on Nigel then and then joins the Death Riders?
That's what we nearly got. And a lot of us held our breath.
That's okay. This is your last straw. I'll give you this, Marie. You got me. This is your chance. This is it. If you're going to do it now. If not, he's in his corner and he hits him with a chair and turns on him, fine.
Even when Tony Schiavone went into the ring with a microphone, we thought, is it a retirement? Is it a heel promo? Is it a heel? Oh, he's just reading that how many of us are turned up. Okay. That nearly got us. And on the other hand, obviously, we saw a cameo of Johnny Saint, one of the British wrestling icons in the promo. The thing is, with Takeshita winning the G1, no one could credibly and look each other in the face and go, Nigel McGuinness is an IWGP heavyweight champion, and Nigel McGuinness is going to be the one holding the belt going into Wrestle Kingdom, because as much as it is his sort of swan song and it's his final run of many regard, you just couldn't credibly buy that, especially from somebody contracted to AEW. And that's the thing about Sabre Jr. is that as much as you could pretty much 80-20 say that the result wasn't in doubt, they still put on a masterclass. They still delivered the technical excellence that both of them we knew could deliver, and we paid it the due diligence and respect that it deserved.
Yeah. Everyone knew that Zack Sabre Jr. was going to retain. There was no question about it. And even with that idea in your mind, you just forget about. In my instance, I just forgot all about it and just enjoyed what was in front of me, because it was beautiful. It was art. It was just art.
And it was Zack Sabre Jr. He's phenomenal. He brings it. He never disappoints me. I know you've seen him live. I'm very jealous. I've never seen him live, but I would love to. I think he's phenomenal.
The one thing I was thinking to myself, imagine if we had Zack against Will at the main event for the IWGP title.
If Will Ospreay was able to do that, that would have been great. But unfortunately, he wasn't, and he was where he had to be in order to be on the card. So, unfortunately, Jeffrey says everyone's going to get your wallet in the dark alley, Ray.
Oh, that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for, Jeff. You just lost all your brownie points. Tim, you're leading in the cookie contest. Jeff, you have no shot now. The door's closed. You're outside in the backyard. I'll throw you some scraps, but you just lost yours.
All right. I don't want to take too much time on this upcoming match because it was the one that I liked the least, to be honest. It was the Hurt Syndicate versus FTR versus Brodito, and that is saying something because FTR is my favorite tag team of all time, and I did not like this match. I thought it was busy. I thought it was chaotic and not in a good way. I hated it. Well, hate is too strong of a word. I just kind of disliked it. Brodito was a surprise, but I'm not too angry about that. And he has his hand up in a very polite fashion. So I'm going to let him.
How can you not look at Brodido and Bobby Lashley and not just scream beef at the screen. Like all the beef, all the prime Aberdeen Angus beef.
Oh, I liked that part. Brody King and Bobby Lashley in the ring together was great. I was talking about all of the other stuff.
Just yeah. I mean,
Ricochet
yes,
and the Cluckers and the Cluck Cluck crew. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're sort of used to as sort of wrestling fans of unlikely partnerships working and doing well. Actually, Brody King in this kind of format works, especially post Malachi Black, House of Black kind of thing.
I think he's actually doing better now that Malachi Black is gone. That is very weird to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's developing his own identity. He's really coming into his own.
Exactly. And the dog chants really sort of went for him as well as the chanting for the beef. FTR were an afterthought.
Yeah. FTR wasn't even
third year in a row they've been in a multi-man tag match, and they were the afterthought.
And it's crazy because I thought for sure that they were going to win this match because we have Adam Copeland and Christian with their eyes set on FTR next after Kip Sabian and Killswitch and Nick Wayne and all of them. And I thought, oh, for sure, they're going to put the titles on FTR so they can face Edge and Christian for the tag team titles.
Are they just holding off the match?
Maybe they are holding off. I really hope they are. I don't know what's going on. I'm not mad about Brodido winning this match. It was just a surprise.
I thought it was good to see them win the belts. Those guys got over. People love him. Brody King is really, like, to CM's credit. He's a different person now that he's not part of the House of Black, and he's become his own little. Not own little big. He's a big guy now, but he's his own identity. And hey,
I think the part that no one saw coming though was the interference by Gates of Agony.
Yeah,
no, I was really surprised.
Out. And yes, people around us were going, "Hang on, has MJF just pulled off an ultimate power play here?"
Yes, and they mentioned that on commentary.
And is there going to be some greater plan going on here? But to take him out to beat the Hurt Syndicate, I mean, you could probably have MVP come out and say, well, we weren't technically pinned, therefore we've got an entitlement here. Would I say that out of the format, again, we talk about the pre-show, would I say Gates of Agony were credible and attractive enough to go, actually, that they have some kind of right here? No. Yes, yeah, it just seemed a little confusing, to be fair.
Tonight on Dynamite, they have an 8-man tag team match with Jet Speed and Brodido versus the Don Callis family. And honestly, I would have liked for them to have, like, it would have been better to me if they had, like, MVP and the Hurt Syndicate put out a video over their social media and saying, hey, we got pulled out of this match and we lost our titles, quote unquote, unfairly because someone else interfered and pulled us out. We won a rematch clause, and they could have had a rematch just between those two teams, Brodido and the Hurt Syndicate, tonight on Dynamite, in order to kind of, I don't know, tie that story up with a bow.
Yeah, and it's not as though that the Hurt Syndicate were over like Rover. We hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people, and no one in their right mind can take away the credibility of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. I mean, we a lot of people seem to forget quite often about John Cena's last year in WWE. Who else was in that class of 2002? Shelton goddamn Benjamin, and he's still doing incredible stuff at the moment.
Shelton Benjamin looks like he's 25 years old. Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know
really
what he's taking, but I would love some because he looks fantastic.
And because y'all mentioned Bobby Lashley and Brody King being in the ring together and how great that was, here we go.
Meaty man slapping meat.
Beef. All the beef. Give me the beef.
But Ricochet's
Okay.
still upset. I mean, obviously I remember they ripped his card up, so I guess he still kept that receipt and held on to that.
Yep. Well, next up, why did it do that? Okay, here we go. We have the Unified Championship on the line with Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve Strickland. This match was just there for me. It wasn't bad, but Okada seemed really lazy, or was that just me?
No, he looked really lazy, and unfortunately, because everybody knew Swerve was hurt, and you knew Swerve was going to take some time off, you knew he wasn't winning, but it could have made this match a much better, longer match.
It's almost like if your name is not Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega, Okada does not care, and he's just gonna be like, eh.
He's 3-star Okada for a reason. Like,
yeah,
if you could get 5 stars for a 3-star match, then you probably that was what Okada would probably make his living doing for the next however many months and years he wishes to do that, until he gets a credible offer at the Tokyo Dome and going, all right, I'll turn up today.
And now, I mean, what's his name is part of the family, and that family's getting big.
Yeah.
No one really saw the introduction of Wardlow again into the Don Callis family.
He does not look great. Wardlow looks like he's been hanging out at McDonald's, unfortunately. Like, Wardlow looks a little plump there. I love Wardlow, but he don't look the same. No, he doesn't. He looks a little, but
well, I know we call Kyle Fletcher reverse Samson, and Wardlow is actual Samson because when he cut his hair before, it's like he went way down. Well, he shows back up and his hair is back. So if Samson grew his hair back out, so now he needs to go and tear down some pillars.
Exactly. He needs to look back. Like, go watch Justin Marie at the gym. Do something, my bro. Like, be inspired. And I don't know. Like, Wardlow doesn't look like Wardlow. He looks like I don't know. I don't know who he looks like. Doesn't look like Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher cut his hair and looks like a beast. Now Wardlow's hair's grown and he looked like I don't know.
The problem with the Don Callis family, and I get that they're meant to be the heel of all heels, and that droning noise will stay in my nightmares for a very long time. The more you add to it, the less people will get over. We've seen it's a tried and tested formula of the NWO, of Degeneration X, of even Bullet Club, going into 18, 19, minus your Cody Rhodes, your Young Bucks, and everyone started to sort of transfer into AEW. So, apart from the odd one or two people breaking out and going, I want to leave and I'm going to go against you, that isn't like you look at the grander picture, that isn't going to break up the faction. And
I think that Takeshita will be the first one to leave.
100%.
He looks great. But that's what we saw that with Ospreay, didn't we? There's a difference between leaving the faction and really being that wrecking ball to go, you know what, I'm going to wipe all of you out one by one and tear Don Callis down limb by limb. And I don't think
he's got to be the one guy that could be a big star if he wanted to, because he was fantastic in the G1.
Exactly. Could you imagine if AEW run an event next January at the Tokyo Dome?
Oh, that would be phenomenal.
As the IWGP champion and as the person who takes down the Don Callis family, I mean, that would be some start to 2026. And all of a sudden, you've got. I know I'm fantasy booking it on the fly here, but then you're looking at Takeshita versus Okada credibly and genuinely going into Revolution.
That would be so good. If Okada decided to show up, yes.
Yeah, Okada would show up. If we get 5-star Okada, other than Flip the Bird Okada, that would be fantastic. And now, what's his face with the braids? What's his name? I'm losing my mind. He's part of the family. He's the tall dude. Oh my!
Archer, Lance Archer.
Archer's just there. He's not even.
80% of the Don Callis family is just there.
Yeah.
It's really basically Fletcher and Okada, and then a bunch of other people.
Takeshita.
And even then,
Takeshita's there, but he's not.
You can't
there?
really say that Okada is there because he's Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah.
Well, he's not just saying. He's saying the ones that stick out is Okada and Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita, and then everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Absolutely.
Preach.
Yeah.
So you got to give some purpose for the rest of these guys, because Lance Archer was at one point a main event guy. Now he's just a big muscle guy. That's just
Josh
there.
Alexander
was a world champion. Now it's like just show up and smile, and I don't know.
Guys, I just want you to know that I appreciate your comments, and I do want you to keep them coming in, but I am going to have to speedily move us along and keep going. And we're going to talk about the women's match, and here we go again. The same song and dance that we've been talking about with Mercedes Moné as well. Toni Storm versus Athena was actually... No. I'm talking about how Toni Storm is like Mercedes Moné, and she just beats everybody one after another, time and time again.
I'm not mad about that though. I was standing up and applauding Toni Storm during her entrance.
Oh yeah,
because timeless Toni, and
timeless.
I got into a serious.
But you've got three Roman Reigns. I told you, it's the three of them, and then that's it, and a lot of evil Unos.
Now I will say that Toni Storm, I don't think it's quite time for her to lose yet. So I'm going to give her that benefit of the doubt. Mercedes Moné, I'm looking at my watch on her and going, okay, let's build some people up with you. But Toni Storm is just on a different level, especially with her character.
She's not boring.
No, she's not.
No,
she's not boring.
She's not.
You think that her character has a ceiling, but it really doesn't, and she just keeps evolving.
And we even saw that towards the start of the year when she morphed back into her old Toni Storm things with this thing. Oh no, she's back to who she was. Oh my god. And yeah, the levels of creativity. I as much as the on paper, Monet and Storm are exactly the same, and that's why the match at All In was so big, but in reality, they're on different levels because the creativity that Storm is doing and producing is sensational. Week in, week out.
Toni Storm is she could be champion for as long as she wants because she's Toni Storm. She's timeless.
And she's allowed to be Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns never got boring.
Right.
Exactly. I think Athena's who in Ring of Honor is going to beat her.
But the problem with Ring of Honor, and I kind of had this argument over the weekend as well, is that when AEW acquired Ring of Honor, it had such a golden opportunity to sublet its talent that it was constantly feeding in, bringing in to the universe, and go, here's a different brand where you have the time to breathe, time to grow and build it up. And what Athena's done as women's champion, being the record brain, you could argue she's not had any credible opponents to justifiably sort of put her against, but actually at least she's been given the airtime. She's been given the pat on the back to deliver on the Ring of Honor women's division. The problem is, and again, we come back to the original argument, is that Toni can't, even with two promotions, cannot seem to understand the importance of women's wrestling. And
we say that, but at the same time, we can arguably say that both of these women are the faces of their brands. Athena is the face of Ring of Honor. I'm sorry. When you look at Bandito, when you think of the Ring of Honor World Champion, you think of Athena, not really Bandito. And when you think of the face of AEW, you don't think of Hangman Page, really. You think of Toni Storm because she has carried that she has carried that company on her back for the past 1.5 to 2 years. So
100%. You think of Storm, you think of Athena. When you think of Ring of Honor, that's the first person I think of. I honestly don't think of Bandino, which is sad, but it's very true.
Yeah.
You got, Mercedes is fantastic with her little, little dance and her little thing, but Toni Storm is not nearly on the level as excuse me, Mercedes is never on the level of Toni Storm. Toni Storm is in another stratosphere right now. Is what it is.
See, the thing with Toni Storm is that even if she lost the title, she would still be Toni Storm, and you could still do something with her. With Mercedes, her thing is I'm the CEO and I win all the time. Well, what happens when she starts losing? She's not Mercedes Moné anymore. What do you do with her?
I think that the dominoes will fall in such a way that you make her into a face.
Okay.
And that and we kind of saw it at times in WWE where you have such a bad losing streak, and I think we're going to see the same with the Bucks eventually. Is that they'll reach such a bottom, such a low, that all of a sudden the natural support behind them will eventually start to build through their in-ring work, through their promos, and think we want to get you back on side. And all of a sudden, Mercedes Moné, having lost all of her 9 belts, can all of a sudden start to go in the other direction and start to work our way back up again.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would say that I look forward to when the Young Bucks come on my television, but we're going to talk about them in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to talk about the world title really quick. It's Hangman Adam Page versus MJF. I personally enjoyed this match, and the internet slaughtered it. I don't understand why. I thought it was fine.
I will throw hands that this is my match of the night.
Okay.
I thought it was fantastic.
Oh,
I thought it was
amazing.
a really good match. Hangman is putting on a clinic, and people were giving him a lot of
Personally, this match had the most storyline in it. They moved along very, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next with not just Hangman but also MJF, and what's he going to do with the contract signing and all of this other kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to.
It's not even that. It's not even that. We got a 3 count. I visibly watched Bryce Greenberg count to 3. MJF should be the champion. You can call that a botch until you're blue in the face. That was a 3 count. Like, why aren't we talking about MJF? Now, don't get me wrong. Throughout the night of the technical excellence and brilliance throughout the night, actually, the thing is, wrestling still needs to have that kookiness and have that schmozziness and the character work, and that's what MJF is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
100%.
it's the variety that is the spice of life that is the difference maker of what MJF is, the one of the best of all time.
Well, I really liked. I'm so sorry, Ray. I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'll let you take the floor. Okay. The thing with MJF is that his shenanigans are always what gets him across the finish line. And he tried shenanigan after shenanigan after shenanigan, and it was not enough to put Hangman down. And now we're going to get to the point where MJF is going to have to start winning his matches clean and getting a clean wins, because he's going to have to try something completely different than what he usually does. And that's what we're about to move towards. I thought it was great. I thought it was a masterful storytelling, and no one's talking about that, and it's driving me nuts.
And that's the thing, is that the fact Tony Khan came out and said, well, I'll have you know, from now on inwards, we've got to have a 1 week in advance. No, because
frankly, I like how he did that. Because
you're making
that contract like the Money in the Bank, and it's too shticky, where it's like WWE with the Money in the Bank. Like, now you got this casino thing where you've got to make it different. You got to make it, hey, you won the casino match, you call your shot. you can't just cash it in like a Money in the Bank thing, because I feel, and we've had this debate, this conversation before with how you have the Money in the Bank and you have the casino contract thing. It's almost the same thing. Now you got to pull your shot. I like it. I like it a lot.
But picture this: Hangman could have beaten MJF a lot sooner, and then he gets back up, gets the contract, and goes 5 more minutes. I can beat you. I will be able to beat you. And that's how you kill 2 birds in 1 stone. And I think that was the schmozziness. We even got a Briscoe run in for good measure as well. You know, it had all levels of everything, and I think that 3 count they will come back to that. They are undoubtedly, if MJF doesn't reference this tonight on Dynamite, they have thrown out a massive plot point here of going, I had you beat. It was only because your foot was on the rope. Whatever, you still counted to 3. Yeah.
But do you feel like having that casino contract to use it anytime, anywhere, very, very similar to the Money in the Bank thing, to have it be different now, I think is huge for AEW, because again, I don't want that contract to be so shticky like WWE.
But
WWE has its own little thing, and I feel like
you look at precedent. Okay, look at when Christian had it last year. He had it for so long, people forgot he had it. And as much as Christian grew as a character in the patriarchy, and they kind of were forced themselves into a corner that you had to use it. The fact that MGF has got this hot commodity here and has this chip to propel him back from a Hurt Syndicate feud that really could have done him serious damage as a character. And you can talk about the backstage politics between him and MVP, what is going on, what isn't going on, etc. But for him to all of a sudden be back into a world title match, back in amongst that Adam Page, having him just come off the back of arguably one of the best feuds of the year and should really win feud of the year. I think, because considering that no one could really buy or believe that Page was going to lose so soon, that's why he's better than you, and you know it.
Jeffrey says, but Hangman just got the belt and they don't want him to be a transitional champion. They don't have to do this right away. They can play with MJF, this idea of MJF, almost to the point where he has tried everything but win clean.
Do we get the rematch at All Out?
I wouldn't. I would do it later than that, but I'm not.
Ray, what do you
Tony
think?
Khan.
I mean, I feel like give it some space, because I want Page to be the champion for a little bit. I want him to just drop it so soon. Because you built up this whole thing with him and Moxley and the Death Riders, and him making peace with Swerve and the whole spiel. To have him just drop it like that, I feel like, what was the point of it? I love MJF, but now he's got to cash it in the right way. Like, call your shot, give him a week, and I just don't want it to be so similar to the Money in the Bank thing, where you're hurt, I cash in, I'm obviously going to win now, and it's just like, I just didn't like that, how they made that casino thing very, identical to the Money in the Bank thing. Have some differential. You don't want to look like the same company, so you want to be different. Tony Khan makes him different in the fact that he has pins all the time.
Yeah.
When is the last time you've seen a DQ? I can't remember. Or a count out. Everything's clean.
Okay,
Not clean, but there's always pins.
We got one more match left, and I have to leave in about 10 minutes, so we need to get through this really quick. We have the Lights Out Steel Cage match between Team Osprey versus the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. And Ray and I talked about this for a few minutes, CM Walsh, and they need to quit dangling Gabe Kidd in front of my eyes like a carrot, getting me all excited that Eddie Kingston is going to come back, only for it to be nothing. And then you have that.
Yeah. 20,000 people got
And let me
transported
just
to
say
the early
that
2000s.
the bag full of gummy bears was so great.
Haribo. That. If that didn't send a message to the world that the UK wrestling fans are the greatest, of singing
Yes.
Umbop and gummy bears, and
It was fantastic.
I have
loved it.
beef with
couldn't
Tara,
watch some
though.
of it.
Their candy is not gluten free, so I don't.
I'm with you 100% with the Gabe Kidd thing. I feel so bad for my partner in crime that they're dangling this carrot in her, and it's not right. I feel bad because I'm a massive Adam Cole fan, and I kept wondering, when's he coming back? When is he coming back? They keep teasing he's coming back, and finally came back. And with Gabe Kidd, it's like you think he's going to show up, and you see the Instagram videos of Eddie. I'm like, for my buddy's sake, I want him to show up, and yeah, it's torture. I feel her pain. Like, I want to see him come back so bad.
Speaking of pain, I had my eyes through my hands. Bear in mind, I was high up in the rafters, and I had the ring directly there. I could not watch what I was.
No, there was a lot of times where I had to do this too.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was brutal. And
Darby Allin.
I have also witnessed Orange Cassidy have bamboo spikes just casually growing out of his head. But that was next level gore.
Darby Allin has a death wish.
Yeah.
Doesn't he just? And the man climbed Everest and still lives to dive off.
That gore was like, whoa. I didn't want to get into it, but whoa. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a little too much.
Yeah. Glad we only got 3 top of the cage spots.
Yes.
Even if one of them did involve 4 tables. Please don't die. Please don't
And
die. Please don't die.
Osprey should not have been one of those diving spots, but he was. He landed the best way he could have, though, so I was very relieved to see that. But the baby faces did get the win. I didn't see. Was that Tanahashi who actually got the pin?
Tanahashi got the win with the high fly flow.
Wasn't that his last match, or am I just?
It's his last match in the UK, and again, that got missed in the wash of the match being the match that it was, and many could have argued, well, it's a multi-man cage match like that the best way to say goodbye to someone as iconic as that? Because you could say his levels of flexibility were on par with Will Ospreay, remarkably for that night, considering he had to be talked out of getting up at the top of the cage as well.
Right.
I was just a little worried, like, how are they going to end this? Like, because I know Will's obviously getting his surgery, and they got the clean win, and they're all celebrating, and I'm like, what? How's this going to end?
I've never seen a building go quiet so quickly.
But then, they did what they had to do, so at least it gave some validity.
Yeah. And the fact the show was over, people were walking out for the tube, and people were still in the ring watching him being carried off by St. John's ambulance, waiting for a thumb, waiting for a sign, waiting for something just to be like, please tell me this is a work and not a shoot. This is it was bear in mind we'd just seen all the gore and the blood and the violence. That was the most brutal of spots out of all we saw all night.
Yeah, that was brutal. So how long is this supposed to be out?
For the
How long is he supposed to be out?
I reckon until the end of the year,
Okay.
at least.
Yes, I'm thinking he won't be back till 2026.
No. What was I about to say? Is it just me, or does it seem like you would have thought that Jon Moxley and the Death Riders losing the title would have kind of killed them, but it hasn't.
No.
And it's
No.
actually made them more interesting and more brutal and more.
Yeah, and it's a testament to the intensity and how invested they are in the story. Like I said, we talked about Marina Shafir a little earlier, but you've still got Claudio Castagnoli, who did a few swings for the crowd. You've got Shibata as well, sort of in the background in amongst them. So they still got levels to them that you can easily play off and utilize. And let's be honest, you could still quite easily see Jon Moxley winning that title back at some point in the next few months.
I easily could see him. I could see him being champion again. Like they're more interesting now than they were when he had the belt. It's weird, but I agree with you 100%, Marie. Like they're much more interesting.
And it's crazy with all of the pain and the suffering that Darby Allin put himself through and that Jon Moxley put him through. Tonight, he's in a Falls Count Anywhere match against Claudio Castagnoli. So it's like, dude, you don't know how to say no, do you, my friend?
Oh my God. It's like he enters a hot dog eating contest, and then the next day is a hamburger eating contest. I'm like, dude, like, you want to take a break? This dude is like,
No.
I don't know what he's made of, but man, this guy just likes just taking beatings.
And the fact we're not talking about the Golden Lovers either. Like everything and all the levels of to it, and Kenny Omega was there as well. I mean,
I know. Kenny Omega was just kind of entered into this match. He didn't feel like a part of the story.
No,
he was part of the match. He wasn't part of the story.
No.
So, but it was great to see him on the pay-per-view anyway. So,
yeah.
With that, guys, I have to go. I am sorry, but we want to thank CM Walsh for being part of the and giving us.
Thank you, my friend. That was really nice being part of the show. I loved your input. I agree with 95%.
We're getting all in again next year, Wembley Stadium again, after all our conversation about the differences between Wembley and the O2.
And the cookie definitely goes to Tim today.
Oh, yes.
Tim Gonzalez, you deserve this.
This is for you.
And then when the time is right, it'll be me and you. But only when the time's right.
Enjoy, my friend. And thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best.
Thank you, CM Walsh, for joining us. And thank you, everybody, to y'all for commenting and being part of the show as well. We look forward to it. Ray and I will be back next week.
Same time,
Wednesday.
same station. 4:45, guys. Be safe. Enjoy your night.
Bye.